Good morning, Mr. Goodrich.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
The jail.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Ms. Bowen. Who's in the jail?
Is that Jabari Sapp, sir?
The individual in the jail, can you hear me?
Ma'am,
What's your name?
Jabari Sapp.
Okay, thank you. Does he have an attorney? Because I don't see him.
Yeah, I was appointed to represent him on this matter, Your Honor.
Okay, do you need to speak to him privately?
Yes, briefly.
Okay, I'll put you in a private meeting. I think I left these files in the office. On the record, in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus William Newman, file number is 21-00630 and 21-00633. Council appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. Amanda O'Boyle on behalf of the city. An assistant public defender, Sarah Donnelly, on behalf of the defendant, William Newman, who is standing to my right.
Okay, it was a date that was set for a jury trial in both files. My understanding is there's going to be a plea.
Your Honor, at this time, yes, Mr. Newman would plead as charged in both files.
Okay. That's correct, Mr. Newman. Okay, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Okay, I have an advice of rights and the plea information sheet here with today's date on it. Mr. Newman, is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
Did you read this document?
Yes,
Do you understand the rights listed here?
yes,
Do you have any questions about any of these rights? Okay, you understand that you have the right to proceed to trial in this matter or in these matters?
yes,
You understand that at the time of trial, you have the right to have the city bring sufficient evidence to prove each element of the charges being brought against you. They have to prove each of the elements beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to be presumed innocent until they can prove you guilty. You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to question or cross-examine, excuse me, any witness that the city intends to bring, and you have the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence you believe would further defenses to the charges in each file. You understand that?
yes,
You wish to waive each of those rights here today?
yes, sir.
Okay. Is anybody threatening to get you to waive your rights and plead guilty? Has anybody promised you anything to get you to waive your rights and plead guilty?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty in both files? You sure about that?
Yes,
Kind of stumbled there.
yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Are you currently on probation or parole?
No.
Oh. In file number 21-00633, you've been charged in one count of operating while under the influence of a controlled substance, a Schedule I controlled substance, that being THC. As to count one, how do you plead? Well, file number ending in 630. Charged here in count one of operating while having a high blood alcohol content of greater than 0.17. or more. As to that, how do you plead? A factual basis on both cases.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, William, on September 25th of 2020, were you operating a vehicle at or near North Pennsylvania Avenue and East Oakland Avenue in the city of Lansing, city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan?
Yes.
And at that time, you were operating a vehicle. Did you have any amount of a Schedule I controlled substance in your system, particularly marijuana? And was where you were operating that vehicle, was it on a highway or other place open to the general public?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have no further questions on that one.
Any questions from you, Ms. O'Boyle?
No, Your Honor, the city is satisfied with the factual basis on it.
And then, Mr. Newman, on January 1st of 2021, were you operating a vehicle at or near Johnson Drive and Calson Drive in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan? And is that place where you were operating on a highway or other place open to the general public?
Yes.
And at that time, were you operating that vehicle while your blood alcohol content was greater than 0.17 grams per 100 milliliters of blood? Right, and you consented to a blood draw, correct?
Yes.
And you have no question, or you have no reason to question that the blood alcohol content results of your blood was 0.240, correct?
No.
All right, Your Honor, no further questions.
Any questions from the city?
No, Your Honor, the city is satisfied with the factual basis on the record.
Court is satisfied with the factual basis in both files. I'll accept your plea. I find your plea you made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. These matters will be set for sentencing. It's going to be Monday, September 12th at 8:30 in the morning. It's my understanding, however, that you're going to try to see if he can get into a specialty court of some sort.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm gonna have him screened for the 55th District Court sobriety course.
Okay. Should that take place, then you can update us via email and we can address the sentencing date as necessary.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have any questions at this time, sir?
No questions.
He's already undergone an assessment, correct?
A substance abuse assessment, yes, he has had one.
So you're gonna need to meet with probation prior to sentencing if you're gonna be sentenced here. So they can provide the court with a pre-sentence report and recommendation. You need to report to them within 48 hours of today's date. Since you're here in person, you might as well go down to the 5th floor when you leave here, and they'll get you set up for your pre-sentence interview and give you paperwork that you need to complete, okay? Do you have any questions at this time?
No. further questions.
Okay, any additional matters for the record?
Yes, Your Honor, just briefly, there is a victim in the controlled substances case, so defense counsel and court keep us apprised if the sentencing date needs to be moved out. It is my understanding that she does wish to be present and be heard by the court on that matter.
The court, if we do change the date, the court staff will make sure both of you all are on that email, okay? Or if it's done via email. Any additional matters for the record?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing for the city, thank you.
Thank you all for the record.
Yeah.
Okay, proceedings.
Ms. Bowen,
Yes, Your Honor.
which matter are you here for?
Temporarily filling in for Miss O'Boyle.
Okay. Mr. Sapp. Can you hear me, Mr. Sapp?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Jabari Sapp, file number 20-01940. Council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Mary Bowen appearing on behalf of the city of Lansing.
Attorney Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office here to represent Mr. Sapp.
Thank you. Today was the date that was set for a pre-trial and a possession of drug paraphernalia. How are we proceeding on this?
Your Honor, it was my understanding that the city attorney's office was going to dismiss this matter at this time.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, this case will be dismissed. You're all set, Mr. Sapp.
And thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Horky? Mr. Sapp, you can let the deputies know you're all set.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Horky, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay, do you have an attorney?
I do not.
Okay. We need your fingerprints.
I can make that happen.
Okay, when are you gonna make it happen, sir?
I can come in tomorrow.
Okay, you're being charged with operating while intoxicated. You're attempting to represent yourself in this matter, sir?
Yes.
I'll put you in a private meeting room with the city attorney. Good morning. What's your name?
Damien, Damione. Collicott, Collicott.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Goodrich, is your office representing him?
Yes, Your Honor. And could I speak with him in a breakout room, please?
Absolutely. I'll put him in room 1.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go 2 different ways in this one. Mr. Collicott, is your name spelled correctly on the screen here? Damione?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Let's spell correctly. Let me take a look at this one. Messed up the J, I guess. On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Damian Michael Cole Collicott, file number 22-01614OT. Council appearance, please.
Attorney Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office here to represent Mr. Collicott.
Amanda O'Boy on behalf of the city of Lansing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Today was the date that was set for a pretrial on a count of reckless driving. How are we proceeding on this matter?
Your Honor, at this point, my office has only received a copy of a ticket with Mr. Collicott for reckless driving. And it was my understanding Ms. O'Boyle wanted to get some video and other discovery on this matter. So we would ask that the pretrial be adjourned for a few weeks so that we can get that accomplished.
August 1st at 10 a.m. August 1st at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, you're all set for today, Mr. Collicott.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
So I can just leave?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, we're on the record in the matter, the people of the city of Lansing versus Craig Corky, file number is 22-016870D. Council appearance, please.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Mary Bowen appearing on behalf of the city of Lansing.
And Mr. Corky, you have elected to waive your right to counsel today and to represent yourself. Please state your name for the record.
Craig Michael Horkey.
Say what's the date that was set for a pretrial. Mr. Horkey has been charged with operating while intoxicated. How are we proceeding in this matter, Ms. Bowen?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. So I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Horkey, and at this time, Mr. Horkey will be requesting a 30-day adjournment to obtain a substance abuse assessment for our office to review and for us to continue negotiations. And for the record, our office has provided him with a copy of the list of approved substance abuse agencies.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll reset this hearing for August 29th at 9:30. Okay, Mr. Horkey?
That'll work for me. Yes, thank you.
Okay, do you have any questions at this time?
I do not.
Okay, so you'll get your substance abuse assessment and the report, and you'll submit the report to the city attorney's office, okay?
Yes. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll see you on August 29th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Okay, who's in the jail?
Colin Rose.
Okay. Mr. Goodrich, I believe your office is representing him.
Yes, Your Honor, that is accurate.
Do you need to speak to him?
Yes, I do.
I'll put him in room 1. I've not seen Usama Habata, so there's going to be a bench warrant. Mr. Voss, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Colin Voss, file number 22-008440 Council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Amanda O'Boyle on behalf of the City of Lansing.
And Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office here to represent Mr. Vols.
Thank you. Today was the date that was set for a pretrial on one count of hinder, obstruct, resist, oppose an officer. How are we proceeding on this?
Your Honor, we did get the discovery on Friday in this matter. There does not appear to be an offer at the time. We would like to, at this moment, we would like to have the matter set for a final pretrial conference.
Trial August 1st at 8:15. Trial August 8th. Okay, final pretrial is going to be August 1st at 8:15 in person at the court. I am not requiring officers to appear for final pretrial. As to jury trial, that will be August 8th at 8:15. Also in person at the court. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for this, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you then, sir. You're all set.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, we have Mr. Stump here. We'll get him on Zoom so he can meet with you, Mr. Goodrich.
Okay.
Mr. Goodrich, I'm gonna add Mr. Stump to room 1.
Okay. Your Honor, we seem to be having some technical difficulties with Mr. Sump. I haven't been able to hear him, and I don't think he's hearing me at all.
Okay, I'll send Mr. Bigelow with me to assist.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, what's your name, sir?
Steven Bechtel.
Okay, very good. We'll wait to see if your attorney needs to speak with you, okay?
Okay.
Okay, are you ready with some?
We are ready, Your Honor.
Okay, we're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Matthew Sump, file number 21-03283, council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Amanda O'Boyle appearing on behalf of the city of Lansing.
And Attorney Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office here to represent Mr. Sump.
Today was the date that we reset pre-trial. I think it was reset to allow a review of the assessment that was submitted. How are we proceeding at this time?
Your Honor, based on that assessment, Ms. O'Boyle made two separate plea offers in this case. And Mr. Sump would like to accept the offer to plead guilty to one count of reckless driving.
Okay. That's correct, Mr. Sump. You want to accept and plead guilty to one count of reckless driving?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand that there is some restitution that still would come as part of the OWI cost recovery along with that plea, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Mr. Sump, you have the right to be represented by counsel, and you are represented today by Mr. Goodrich from the Office of the Public Defender. In this matter, you have the right to proceed to a trial, and you have the right to have a jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent at the time of trial until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecution, which is the city attorney's office, prove each element of the charge being brought against you, and they have to prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to question any witness that the prosecution calls in this matter. You have the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence at trial. You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. In order to plead guilty to the amended count of reckless driving, you would have to waive all of those rights today. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anybody promising you anything to get you to waive your rights and plead guilty?
No,
Is anybody threatening you to get you to plead guilty today?
no, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you are guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, as to the amended charge of reckless driving, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Mr. Goodrich, can I have a factual basis?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Sump, on or about September 26th of 2021, had you taken some medications to help you with sleeping?
Yes.
And that's because you work nights, correct?
Correct.
So is it fair to say that around 8 a.m. that morning, you were quite groggy from those medications?
Yes.
And while you were in that state, did you choose to get into a car to get a medication for your mother?
Yes. Pain tab.
And while you were driving, is it fair to say that you were so groggy that at some point on South Larch, you had to just stop the vehicle and park it in the middle of the road?
Yes.
And is it fair to say that you driving in that condition may have put other people at harm, in harm's way?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, I believe we have a factual basis for reckless driving in this matter.
Thank you. Any questions from the city?
None, Your Honor. Thank you.
Court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea. I find that you may freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. Let's set this matter for sentencing. Prior to sentencing, you need to meet with probation so they can provide the court the pre-sentence report and recommendation as to your sentencing, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sentencing is gonna be September 12th at 8:30. We'll give you a copy of your notice to appear for that date. If you've already undergone a assessment, which my understanding is that you have, that needs to be provided to the probation department so that they don't require you to get a new assessment. When you leave here today, you should go to the 5th floor so they can set up your pre-sentence interview, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for the court today?
Is that the 5th floor of this building?
Correct, the 5th floor of this building, of the probation department.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor. Thank you.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
That for today, Mr. Slump will come down and give you your paperwork, or you can stop by the courtroom now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. We have Stephen Bechtel here. Mr. Goodrich, do you need to speak to him?
Your Honor, I believe we are ready to proceed on Mr. Bechtel's case unless is there anything that you need to speak with me about, Mr. Bechtel?
I don't think so.
Okay, so yes, we are ready to proceed on his matter, Your Honor. I just need to pull up his file real quick.
Record in the matters of the people of the city of Lansing versus Stephen Lee Bechtel Jr., file numbers 18L2406332, 18-06358, 18-07453, and 18L24033. Council appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Amanda O'Boyle on behalf of the city of Lansing.
And Attorney Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office here to represent Mr. Bechtel this morning.
Today was the date that was set for a pre-trial. We were here July 11th. And there was an offer extended. How are we proceeding at this time?
Your Honor, Mr. Bechtel would like to accept the offer whereby the 2 matters for improper plate would be dismissed as he's shown proof that he has his vehicle registered in Ohio. And then the failure to stop an ID accident would be amended to careless driving. And he would also plead to impaired driving, which is down from OWI.
Okay, that's correct, Mr. Bechtel.
I'm sorry.
Is it correct that you want to accept the offer and plead
Yeah,
guilty to the amended count of impaired driving and to the amended count of careless driving?
yes,
Okay, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
yes,
Okay, so you can put your hand down. Sir, in these matters, you have the right to be represented by counsel, and you do have representation by the Office of the Public Defender today by way of Mr. Goodrich. You have the right in each of these matters to proceed to a trial. You have the right at the time of trial to remain silent and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the city bring sufficient evidence to prove each element of the charges being brought against you, and they have to prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to question or cross-examine any witness the prosecution intends to call. And then you have the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence at trial and not have, you have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used to prove or implicate your guilt. Do you have any questions about those rights, sir?
no,
Okay, in order to plead guilty to these amended counts, you would have to give up those rights. Is that what you want to do?
yes,
anybody threatening you to get you to waive your rights and plead guilty today?
No,
Is anybody making any promises to you to get you to waive your rights and plead guilty?
no,
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty?
yes,
Okay. As to the amended charge of impaired driving, in file number 18-07453, how do you plead, sir? Can you hear me, Mr. Bechtel?
yes,
Okay. As to the charge of impaired driving, in file number 18-07453, how do you plead?
guilty,
Okay, and then the file 18-06358, the charge is being amended to careless, that's a civil infraction. You can either accept responsibility or not accept responsibility. As to that charge, would you like to accept responsibility?
yes.
Okay, can I have a factual basis on the impaired driving, Mr. Goodrich?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Bechtel, on or about October 19th of 2018, were you, had you been consuming alcohol in those early morning hours at that point?
I had consumed alcohol that prior night, yeah.
Okay, so, and at some point, did you operate a motor vehicle on or about Katy Court?
Yeah,
And is Katy Court located in the city of Lansing, County of Ingham, state of Michigan?
as far as my knowledge,
And had the alcohol that you've been drinking impaired your ability to drive a motor vehicle on that occasion?
I'm sure.
Okay, Your Honor, I believe we have a factual basis for impaired driving.
Any questions from the city?
No, Your Honor, the city is satisfied with the factual basis on the record.
Thank you. The court is also satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea. Find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. And this matter will be set for sentencing on September 12th at 8:30 in the morning. Prior to sentencing, you're gonna need to meet with probation so they can provide the court with a pre-sentence report and recommendation. Because you're currently residing in Ohio, I'll allow you to contact them versus meet with them in person, okay?
Contact the 54A District Court Probation Department.
Yes, you have to do that within 48 hours, okay?
Okay. How is that gonna work since I live in Ohio?
Do you have a
Or should I?
phone that works?
Yeah, what else? Is there anything I should know though? And
Yeah, you need to contact them within 48 hours for, they can schedule a interview with you for your pre-sentence report, and your interview will be virtual, so you need to call them and get in contact with them within the next 48 hours, okay?
okay,
Do you need their phone number?
sure.
517
Yep.
483
Okay.
4424.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, as to the careless driving, the fine is $210. When can you make payment?
This week.
Okay. You can make that payment online at the court website. You would just use this file number that's attached to the careless, okay? That's the file number ending in 6358.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Not right now.
Okay. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. You're all set, Mr. Bechtel.
Okay.
Okay, I see Emil Moore has joined us.
Yes.
Couldn't possibly believe we need his fingerprints after how many times he's been here on these matters.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
Awesome.
Mr. Moore, we need your fingerprints on these matters, okay?
Okay.
Okay. My understanding is that he does have representation by your office, Mr. Goodrich?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you need to speak with him privately?
No, Your Honor, I had a chance to speak with Mr. Moore last week, and I think we're ready to proceed on his matter.
Okay, we're on the record in the matters of the people of the city of Lansing versus Emil Moore, file numbers 22-01181 and 22-01442. Council appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Amanda O'Boyle appearing on behalf of the city of Lansing.
And Attorney Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office here to represent Mr. Moore.
Today was a date set for pre-trials and 2 driving while licenses suspended. How are we proceeding on these?
Your Honor, I spoke with Mr. Moore and Ms. O'Boyle as well, and I think the big thing is he has a number of issues affecting his license at this point. Mr. Moore informed me that he thinks he can get most of this resolved within about 60 days. So we wanted to see if it was possible to get a new court date about 60 days from now to see if he can get his license issue taken care of.
September 19th at 9:30. Do you have any questions today, Mr. Moore? Are you muted, sir? You're muted?
Oh, yeah, I didn't no question.
Okay, so don't forget to get your fingerprints taken care of.
Yeah, I come down there to do the fingerprint. Or I could do it on the phone.
Fingerprints?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like you have a court date here on Thursday. You can when you come on Thursday, you need to go to the police department and get your fingerprints, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so we'll see you on Thursday at before your PCC, and that way we can get your fingerprints done.
Okay.
All right, you're all set, sir.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Okay, Michelle Palacio.
I'm here.
Okay. Mr. Goodrich, did you need to speak to her?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll put her in room 1. Okay, we're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Michelle Palacio, file number 22-00408 OD. Council appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Amanda O'Boyle appearing on behalf of the city of Lansing.
And Attorney Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office here to represent Ms. Palacio in this matter.
Thank you. Today was the date that was set for a pretrial hearing on an operating while intoxicated. How are we proceeding on this?
Your Honor, Ms. Palacio did complete the assessment and that was sent over to Ms. O'Boyle. And based on that, there's an offer for impaired driving in this matter. And Ms. Palacio would like to accept that offer at this time.
That's correct, Ms. Palacio.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. Ms. Palacio, you're represented by Mr. Goodrich from the Office of the Public Defender. You have the right to proceed to trial in this matter, and you have the right to have a jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to be represented by counsel. You have the right to remain silent and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, and you have the right to have the city bring sufficient evidence to prove each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to question or cross-examine any witness that the city intends to call. You have the right to call your own witnesses at trial and present any evidence you believe would further defense to the charge. Do you understand those rights, ma'am?
I do.
In order to plead guilty, you would need to give up each of those rights today. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is anybody promising you anything to get you to waive your rights and plead guilty?
No.
Has anybody made any threats to you to get you to plead guilty today?
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty?
Yes.
Are you currently on probation or parole?
No.
As to the amended count of impaired driving, how do you plead, ma'am?
Guilty.
On a factual basis?
Thank
I'm
you,
sorry.
Your Honor. Ms. Palacio, on or about December 5th of 2021, had you consumed a substantial amount of alcohol?
Yes, sir.
And you were then at your boyfriend's residence, is that correct?
Correct.
And at some point, the two of you got into an argument and he asked you to leave, is that correct?
That is correct.
And did you drive your vehicle on to Bristol Ave? I believe it's Bristol Avenue.
Yep. Yes.
And had the alcohol that you drank prior to that driving, did that impair your ability to drive the vehicle while you were driving?
Yes.
And were you driving that motor vehicle in the city of Lansing, county of Ingham, state of Michigan?
That is correct.
Okay, Your Honor, I believe we have a factual basis for impaired driving in this matter.
Any questions for you, Ms. O'Boyle?
No, Your Honor, the city is satisfied with the factual basis on the record.
I'm also satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea. Find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently.
I'm sorry, I couldn't barely hear you. Bless you.
Okay. Your matter is going to be set for sentencing on September 12th at 9:30 in the morning, okay?
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Prior to sentencing, you need to meet with probation. They're gonna provide me with a pre-sentence report and recommendation as to your sentencing. Your assessment that you've already undergone should be provided to the probation department, okay?
Okay. And
You
is
need to
that,
report to- Yeah, you
Sorry.
have a question?
I was gonna say, is that like, I'm not sure where probation is. I've never done that. So is that like right downtown in the,
Yep, they're in the same building as the court and the city attorney's office. They're on the same floor as the city attorney's office. So they're on the 5th floor of City Hall. You need to go there within the next 48 hours so that they can get you all set up for your pre-sentence interview, okay?
okay.
Do you have any other questions, ma'am?
No, ma'am, I do not. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, you're all set, ma'am. We'll see you on the 12th of September.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, John Davis failed to appear, so there's gonna be a bench warrant. Also a bench warrant for Robert Pearl.
Your Honor, I would point out Mr. Ihabata also has a hearing tomorrow with your honor. Perhaps bench warrant could wait a day to see if he appears at that one.
Yeah, that's a GWLS, so we would have held it for 48 hours
Okay.
anyway. So
All right,
if
thanks.
he appears tomorrow, we'll address it.
Okay,
And that's all I have for the city today.
all right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one.